Salutations, the X-Men's coming to you live on the NFL recap tonight. Um, this time I learned how to do it before I started the video, so now it seems a little bit more easier to do. Um, but I gotta stop saying we are recapping everything that happened today, and obviously the Falcons have to still play the Commanders or later on. Should be a very interesting game. But let's review what really happened. Everything kind of was pretty much predictable for the most part today. As the most part, there was no real upsets except for one. Um, so the Buffalo Bills and the Jets. Buffalo just running it up the score on the Jets today. Josh Allen didn't have a crazy game. He had 182 yards, 2 touchdowns, but I mean the Buffalo Bills now 13-3. Don't know what they're going to do as far as planning out for next week. Obviously, the Chiefs, they have the 1 seed, but Buffalo probably gets the 2 seed, I guess. I'm not really too sure how that's going to work, but, Buffalo did good. James Cook had a pretty decent game. Shavers had a nice one catch for a touchdown. That was pretty good. Aaron Rodgers playing like the bum that he is, 112 yards and 2 picks on a 4-12 team that's pretty much lost confidence in Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. One thing the Jets are going to have to do next year is they're going to have to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. There's no way you can keep Aaron Rodgers on the New York Jets the way that they played this year and feel confident about them going into next year. The New York Jets as a franchise are just not a good franchise. They're just not. They've never made good decisions. Aaron Rodgers he's been a waste of time. His career's over. It's time for him to retire, and he can go on the McAfee show and talk about how great he was. And he'll go in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. But 112 yards, 2 picks, pretty much have been done. You're done. I don't even know why you played, dude. That's it. 4-12. The Bills handle business 40-14 today. Next game up on there, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who needed this victory really bad, and now are 9-7, crushing the Panthers. Bryce Young still threw for 203 and 2 touchdowns, though. But Baker Mayfield really coming out today. I mean, even though it was Carolina, 359 yards, 5 touchdown passes. Baker's played well enough to keep the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a playoff team. And the division's theirs for the taking. Obviously, if the Falcons lose tonight, I think that puts Tampa Bay in, I think. Mike Evans, 2 touchdowns. Bucky Irvin, 20 carries, 113 yards. Tampa Bay Buccaneers looking okay at 9-7. That was a big victory for them. They looked solid, Tampa Bay, big victory, 9-7. One more game to play for them. And here comes the game that everybody... And this is one thing I'm going to say about Eagle fans, too. It's great that you won the game against Dallas, but you played a team with no starters on their team, okay? The first thing that I'm going to say about that is kudos for the Eagles for being 13-3 now with a 41-7 win over the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to take credit away for where credit's due. The Eagles played a pretty solid game today. Kenny Pickett, 10 of 15, 143 yards and a touchdown. Saquon, 31 for 167. Devontae Smith, 2 touchdown passes. I mean, there's breakdowns in most parts of the game where you could probably see things. The Philadelphia Eagle defense really came up big. They did. Jalen Carter, Davis, Jordan Davis. Those guys are very good, a pretty good defensive squad. They are. The Eagles played really decent defense, and they've been the number 1 defense in the NFL right now. The only thing that worries me about the Eagles moving forward is being ready for teams that are actually in playoff contention because they've only played 2 in like the last 8 games. But Barkley, 167 yards. They're trying to get him that record over Eric Dickerson. Probably gets it, I think, and if they play him. So, the Eagles, 13-3, a victory. No Jalen Hurts. And it kind of proves a point that maybe the Eagles don't need Hurts as much as they think. I know that sounds a little crazy, but if Kenny Pickett could get it done, who knows? I know it seems a little nuts, but, we'll see what happens. Devonta Smith he's a pretty solid receiver. He's the only receiver that I like on the Eagles because he doesn't really talk stupid like A.J. Brown does. A.J. Brown's a mouth. Let's hope that he doesn't ruin the Eagles as a franchise. And I've seen this time and time again with that guy. Hopefully he doesn't start his drama queen stuff. But they are winning right now, and 13-3, looking good. And they're going to probably get the 2 seed most likely. Run down the numbers here. Next game, the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns. The Dolphins handle business. They're 8-8. They got to 500 finally. For the most part, they didn't need Tua today. They got Tyler Huntley went in, and Tyler Huntley was pretty much Tua. 225, 1 touchdown, 7 rushes, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill had 9 catches, 105 yards. But then again, you're playing against the Cleveland Browns, who have play for nothing right now. Miami at 8-8 have a chance to get into the playoffs. As crazy as that sounds, Miami Dolphins have a chance to get into the playoffs last week coming up. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing them get in, but question marks at the quarterback position. That's the one thing that's going to take him. You paid a guy $52 million and he can't stay on the field. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 170 and a pick. The Browns weren't trying. The Cleveland Browns are trying to get Shedeur Sanders. Let's be realistic here. The Browns want Shedeur Sanders to go in there next year, because if you don't sign Winston, then what do you have? You're going to need some kind of a quarterback. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to help any team. And I think teams like the Giants and stuff like that, and I'll get to that in a little bit, that's probably the reason why they won today, because they don't want Sanders. Maybe Cam Ward, but not Sanders. I just don't see Shedeur Sanders going that high ceiling, but because it's Deion's kid, they're going to put him up there. So, yeah, Cleveland Browns 3-13, Dolphins 8-8. Dolphins stay alive, but I got to give credit where credit's due. They got a big victory today. All right, so where are we at? Or Titans and the Jaguars. Like I said earlier, everybody picked the Titans. I knew the Jaguars were going to win this game. I knew the Jaguars were going to win. I said it earlier. I knew they were going to win. Mac Jones, 74 yards, 2 TDs. It's a shame the Jaguars really fell apart. They were looking pretty promising, but this year has just been tough. ATN, 43. Brian Thomas Jr., 7 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, they won. They won the game. They're 4-12. So the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes is out for them, I think. The Jags proven that they still have a team there. And I think Jacksonville, moving forward, will probably next year, hopefully they can rebuild that franchise and do something with it. The Tennessee Titans proving that they have no quarterback. I mean, if any team needs a quarterback, it's the Tennessee Titans right now. I don't know what they're waiting for, because the more years you go, the more years you tank, the more years you're worse. So at 3-13, that's it. Jags 4-12. The Raiders and the Saints. Now the Raiders with again, another, tank game with bad teams. So the Raiders at 4-12 with a win today. That helped 2 in a row. They won 2 in a row now, which, I didn't think was possible. Aiden O'Connell, 242 and 2 touchdowns. Amir Abdullah, 20 rushes for 115 yards. That's promising. Brock Bowers, even though he didn't get in the end zone. Brock Bowers with the most receiving yards by a first-year player, by a tight end. Shannon Sharp, Gronk, Brock Bowers, quietly, hopefully the Raiders can sign him to a nice long-term deal, because they're going to need him. They do need a quarterback, but I don't know what they're going to do there. I don't know. As long as Mark Davis is there, they can never win. They might have won today, but they're never going to really, truly win. I mean, he played Spencer Rattler, and he still gave you a kind of a game. The Raiders with a big victory today for themselves. They kept out of the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes at 4-12. The New Orleans Saints 5-11. They weren't really going anywhere. New Orleans is pretty disappointing. I just don't know what they're going to do with the Saints. I think somebody's going to step into that coaching spot for the New Orleans Saints next year, and they're going to have to do something big time. They just don't have anything. All right, so I got to every game. Oh yeah, the Giants, they stayed out of the Shedeur sweepstakes too, with a victory today over the Indianapolis Colts, 45 points. I don't think they've scored a combined 45 points in like almost 8 games. and they scored 45 on the Colts today. I don't think Indianapolis really had any idea of really going in with a turnover prone Anthony Richardson. So obviously, still scored 33 points, as surprising it is. The New York Giants did pull a victory out with Drew Lock. That's crazy that he had 309 yards and 4 touchdown passes. Tyron Tracy, 20 for 59. Jonathan Taylor, 2 touchdowns. I don't understand how you lose a game like that. A. Pierce, six receptions, 122, 1 touchdown. Malik Neighbors, 7 receptions, 171, and 2 touchdowns. Malik Neighbors is the future of the Giants. I just don't know what they're going to do quarterback wise. I mean, I don't know where you go from here. You don't get Shader or Sanders. Whatever you do, don't get Shader or Sanders. I keep telling people, do not get Shader or Sanders, whatever it is. Maybe Cam Ward. But if they're going to play that card, they got to do something there. But we'll see. They probably won't even pick any of them, honestly. I've never seen the Giants really ever do that, but we'll see where that becomes. All right, and obviously the Vikings and a very exciting game, which I actually was watching this game earlier. So the Minnesota Vikings with a 27-25 win. They were up big though, and they almost blew this game. They were just a little bit too short. Jordan Love only 185 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Josh Jacobs scored a touchdown. Aaron Jones didn't get a touchdown. Justin Jefferson didn't get a touchdown, but Sam Darnold threw for almost 400 yards. Romeo Doubs, 7 catches. But the Vikings just pulled it. They pull it out. They find ways to win. I don't really know. Jordan Addison seems to be really the guy for them guys. I mean, he's, ultimately Jordan Addison is really playing good football. Jalen Nailor played pretty good today. Justin Jefferson had 8 catches, 92 yards, but no touchdown. He may be the new Julio Jones of the Vikings. But again, the Vikings 14-2 now. So it's a big game, and how ironic that the Vikings and the Lions play each other on the last day of the season for the whole marbles. But the same exact record, maybe. Unless San Fran comes out and plays hard against Detroit, which I don't see that really happening, but who knows? Maybe it happens. That'll be interesting tomorrow night. But the Minnesota Vikings right now at 14-2. Sam Darnold's been playing pretty good. I hate to say that. Now, he could be another Kirk Cousins, just a regular season whammy. I don't know what's really going to happen with him. But Minnesota has a chance for that 2 seed, and they really have a chance for the 1 seed, as crazy as it sounds. I don't think the Lions are going to give that up, though, but we'll see. So, yeah, Minnesota's been playing very solid football. Only 2 losses this year in 16 games is pretty crazy. So, everything happened. The Eagles did what they had to do. The Vikings did what they had to do. The Bills did what they had to do. Tonight, the Commanders and the Falcons game. I mean, what slim chances Atlanta has of getting in, they have to play well tonight. I don't know how to bet to play this game. It's a 3.5-point game. I did say 3.5 Washington earlier. I still stick with that. I still think they're going to win by 3.5. But we'll see what we got moving on tonight. So that's my recap for today. Anyway, I might get on here later or tomorrow, and we'll talk about other stuff. But I hope everybody liked the recap. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll catch everybody later. X-Men out.